Freedom Publishing House, the leading publisher in academic materials across the globe.
IELTS Target 9. Published by Freedom Publishing House and Freedom Academy Press, 2026. This recording is a copyright. Test 12. This is the IELTS listening test by Target 9. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings would be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. You will hear a recording about a man calling a language learning institute. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Hello. Is it World Language Services?
Yes. We are the leading language service company in the UK. How can I help you?
My name is Chris, and I'm fond of learning different languages. Previously, I have learned languages like Spanish, Japanese, and a bit of Korean. But this time I am looking for French language classes.
I will be happy to help you. We are offering all sorts of classes at our center. We have top trainers and variety of courses to choose from. May I know what type of course you are looking for?
Actually, I'm working right now, and my job timings are from morning 8 to 3 in the evening. I get to home at 4 p.m. So, I'm looking to start the classes in the evening as I don't have time in mornings.
Okay. So, I would like to tell you that we have an evening batch that starts at 4 p.m., which will not be suitable for you for the obvious reasons. But there's another batch that starts at 6 in the evening. We cover all the modules every day and give you online worksheets. The class is held on Monday alternates and will run for 2 hours.
What is the total length of the course? I mean, how long it takes for a person to be able to efficiently communicate in the French language? As I want to start from the basics, as I do not have any knowledge about this language.
The course duration for Basics of French is from anywhere between 2 to 3 months. There's another that has a 6-month duration. But for a candidate like you who is learning this language for the first time, I suggest you take a 3-month basic course.
Okay. Well, do I get any credentials after the course?
Yes. Once your course is completed, we will take an official test of French language basics, based on which you will be given a certificate. And, if you would like to continue in the intermediate level, then the duration for total course is 8 months. Oh, sorry. It's 6 months for intermediate level. For advanced course, you must spend a total of 12 months. And the last one is the diploma in French language accredited by the government. It takes 2 years to complete. By passing the advanced level, you will be able to communicate in French language effectively.
Well, that seems interesting to me. I would like to know about the fee structure of all the courses before I can make a decision.
So the price of the basic course is $200, plus another $50, if you want to give the test as well as obtain a certificate. If I talk about the intermediate course, the fee is $350 plus $50 for certification. For advanced course, the total fee including exam and certificate is $600. If you wish to pursue the diploma course, then you will have to pay $500 annually. So, it means that the total fee for the 2-year diploma is $1,000. There is no extra fee for the exam and certificates.
Well, I think first I will start with the basic course, and if I feel that I am comfortable learning the language, then I will continue to upper levels. Kindly let me know from when I can join the course.
Sir, you can join the course from the 15th of next month. You will be enrolled in a fresh batch. You can pay the fee directly at the center not later than the 10th of June. Also remember that the day of orientation is the 14th of June.
Okay. That's fine. May I know the center's address?
Yes. It's 16, Rose Lane, Peterborough.
Thank you for the information.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 1. Part 2. You will hear a coordinator talking about the Grand Oak Performing Arts Center. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hi. Lovely to meet you both. I'm Tara, and I'll be your coordinator for the first month here at the Grand Oak Performing Arts Center. I'll give you a quick overview of the place before introducing you to a couple of team members. This is quite a historic venue, and it's gone through several updates over the years. As you've probably noticed, we're currently in the middle of a major renovation. The flooring in the main auditorium has just been changed. It was badly worn and uneven before. Next on the list is updating the signage around the center, but we've had to delay that due to budget issues. We were also hoping to upgrade the sound system, but that's been pushed to next year. One major change you'll notice is that the backstage area, which used to be mostly for storage, has now been converted into a small rehearsal studio. It's already being used regularly. We've also swapped out the old fixed lighting rigs for flexible overhead lighting units that can be repositioned depending on the needs of the performance. It gives the directors a lot more creative freedom. We make a real effort to engage the local community in everything we do at the Performance Center. One popular initiative has been running behind-the-scenes workshops where visitors can get hands-on experience with stage lighting, set design, and even basic acting techniques. These sessions have received excellent feedback. Lately, we've noticed that people like to relax and socialize while they're here, so we're exploring the idea of setting up a snack bar soon. We also run a small gift shop that focuses on theater-themed merchandise, like posters, mugs, and script collections, and it draws steady foot traffic. In addition, we have 2 multi-purpose halls, which will undergo renovation next month. Once ready, they'll be available to rent for exhibitions, training sessions, or private celebrations. We're also thinking about launching a prop rental service for community drama groups. Let me give you some information about the creative classes we've introduced. We recently launched a series of hands-on sessions that are open to everyone, regardless of experience. In the future, we plan to run voice coaching courses, but we're still in the process of finding qualified professionals to lead them. It's proving more time-consuming than we expected. There's already been strong interest in learning about the backstage production side, and our set design class has kicked off with fantastic feedback. Next month, we're launching a session focused on stage management, which several attendees have requested. There's also been a lot of curiosity about costume creation workshops, and that's something we may start later in the year. Interestingly, one unexpected hit has been our mask-making class. One of our staff members has experience with traditional theatre masks and volunteered to lead it. It's become so popular that we've now made it a regular monthly event.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 17 to 20.
Now, a word about the layout of the building. The auditorium, stage, and dressing rooms for the theatre artist and staff are all on the ground level. Here on the first floor, we have most of the rooms that the visitor doesn't see. Standing here in the main lobby, you're probably wondering why the visitor help desk isn't here, where the public would expect to find it. Well, you might have noticed it on your way in. Although it's part of this building, it's next door, with a separate side entrance from the South Street. For the operations coordinator's office, you go across the main lobby and through the big gate, turn right, and it's the room at the end of the corridor, with the door on the left. The tech support room is where the computerized stage lighting is operated, and it's at the back of the building. When you're through the big gate, turn left, turn right at the tea stall, and right again at the end. It's the second room along that corridor. The teach support room has a window into the auditorium, which of course is below us. The creative director's suite is through the big gate, turn right, and it's the first room you come to on the right-hand side. And finally, for the moment, the room where I'll take you next, the leisure room. So if you'd like to come with me.
That is the end of part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 2. Part 3. You will hear a conversation between Jake and Alan about their assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 30.
Hi, Alan. Have you completed your assignment on Homo sapiens?
Oh yes. Do you need some help?
I need a lot of help, mate. I was down with fever for the last week and could not do any research. Can you help me with this?
No problem, buddy. Just take out a paper and start making notes. I will dictate the main facts related to this topic. You can stop me where you want.
That will be great.
So, humans or Homo sapiens are a species of highly intelligent primates. They are the only extant members of the subtribe Hominina, and together with chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans, are part of the family Hominidae. Humans are terrestrial animals, characterized by their erect posture and bipedal locomotion, extraordinary manual ability and heavy tool use compared to other animals, open-ended and complex language use compared to other animal communications, larger, more complex brains than other primates, and highly advanced and organized societies.
So, where the first humans emerged?
Several early hominins used fire and occupied much of Eurasia. Early modern humans are thought to have diverged in Africa from an earlier hominin around 300,000 years ago, with the earliest fossil evidence of Homo sapiens also appearing around 300,000 years ago in Africa. Humans began to exhibit evidence of behavioral modernity at least by about 100,000 to 70,000 years ago. In several waves of migration, Homo sapiens ventured out of Africa and populated most of the world. The spread of the large and increasing population of humans has profoundly affected the biosphere and millions of species worldwide. No doubt that the humans always had larger eyes and powerful muscles to make things easy, but the advantages that explain this evolutionary success include a larger, well-developed brain, which enables advanced abstract reasoning, language, problem-solving, sociality, and culture through social learning. Unlike other animals that take shelter in trees or hunt with claws, humans use tools more frequently and effectively than any other animal. They are the only extant species to build fires, cook food, clothe themselves, and create and use numerous other technologies and arts.
So how would early humans communicated with each other? Like other animals?
No. Other animals sometimes communicate abstract ideas and emotions by showcasing their power, but in humans things work differently. They uniquely use systems of symbolic communication, as language and art, to express themselves and exchange ideas and organize themselves into purposeful groups. Humans create intricate systems of human interact, composed of many cooperating and competing groups, from families and kinship networks to political states. Social interactions between humans have established an extremely wide variety of values, social norms, and rituals, which together undergird human society. Curiosity, and the human desire to understand and influence the environment and to explain and manipulate phenomena have motivated humanity's development of science, philosophy, mythology, religion, and other fields of knowledge.
I have heard that a few thousand years ago only, humans got involved in agriculture. Before that they would only rely on hunting? Is it true?
It's absolutely true. Most of human existence has been sustained by hunting and gathering in band societies. Many human societies transitioned to sedentary agriculture approximately 10,000 years ago, domesticating plants and animals, thus enabling the growth of civilization. These human societies subsequently expanded, establishing various forms of government, religion, and culture around the world, and unifying people within regions to form states and empires. The rapid advancement of scientific and medical understanding in the 19th and 20th centuries permitted the development of fuel-driven technologies and increased lifespans, causing the human population to rise exponentially.
Thank you so much, Alan, for this help. I really appreciate it.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers to part 3. Part 4. You will hear a professor delivering a talk on rockets. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello, everyone. I am Professor Tan. And today I will deliver a speech on how rockets operate and how some rockets are different from other rockets. So without wasting any time, I will start with the lecture. There's no need to write anything, as the presentation related to the topic will be shared with you after this lecture for your reference. You just need to pay attention to the screen. So, rocket propellant is the reaction mass of a rocket. This reaction mass is ejected at the highest achievable velocity from a rocket engine to produce thrust. The energy required can either come from the propellants themselves, as with a chemical rocket, or from an external source, as with ion engines. Rockets create thrust by expelling mass backward at high velocity. The thrust produced can be calculated by multiplying the mass flow rate of the propellants by their exhaust velocity relative to the rocket. A rocket can be thought of as being accelerated by the pressure of the combusting gases against the combustion chamber and nozzle, not by pushing against the air behind or below it. Rocket engines perform best in outer space because of the lack of air pressure on the outside of the engine. In space, it is also possible to fit a longer nozzle without suffering from flow separation. Most chemical propellants release energy through redox chemistry, more specifically combustion. As such, both an oxidizing agent and a reducing agent or fuel must be present in the mixture. Decomposition, such as that of highly unstable peroxide bonds in monopropellant rockets, can also be the source of energy. In the case of bipropellant liquid rockets, a mixture of reducing fuel and oxidizing oxidizer is introduced into a combustion chamber, typically using a turbopump to overcome the pressure. As combustion takes place, the liquid propellant mass is converted into a huge volume of gas at high temperature and pressure. This exhaust stream is ejected from the engine nozzle at high velocity, creating an opposing force that propels the rocket forward in accordance with Newton's laws of motion. Chemical rockets can be grouped by phase. Solid rockets use propellant in the solid phase, liquid fuel rockets use propellant in the liquid phase, gas fuel rockets use propellant in the gas phase, and hybrid rockets, or bipropellant rockets use a combination of solid and liquid or gaseous propellants. In the case of solid rocket motors, the fuel and oxidizer are combined when the motor is cast. Propellant combustion occurs inside the motor casing, which must contain the pressures developed. Solid rockets typically have higher thrust, less specific impulse, shorter burn times, and a higher mass than liquid rockets, and additionally cannot be stopped once lit. In space, the maximum change in velocity that a rocket stage can impart on its payload is primarily a function of its mass ratio and its exhaust velocity. This relationship is described by the rocket equation. Exhaust velocity is dependent on the propellant and engine used and closely related to specific impulse, the total energy delivered to the rocket vehicle per unit of propellant mass consumed. Mass ratio can also be affected by the choice of a given propellant. Rocket stages that fly through the atmosphere usually use lower performing, high molecular mass, high density propellants due to the smaller and lighter tankage required. Upper stages, which mostly or only operate in the vacuum of space, tend to use the high energy, high performance, low density, liquid hydrogen fuel.
That is the end of part 4 and the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.